everybody, welcome to another vlog. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of crafting, a little bit of a mini haul, and I might show you my physical TBR, which isn't actually as terrible as it could be at this point. It does fit onto a shelf and is not a pile of books on the floor. So, you know, progress, I guess. I'm going to do a little life update before we jump into the vlog. So this week I did actually go ahead and start my new job. I started on Tuesday. It is a full-time job, so it's my first post-college full-time type of a job. And so I filmed a couple of videos today in which I may look a little tired, and I may look a little tired right now. I've had to adjust my sleep schedule. I am a pretty night owl-y sort of person, and of course for a full-time job you kind of have to wake up in the morning instead of the afternoon and then stay up until way late. So I've had to adjust my sleep schedule, and that's been a little bit tiring. If I'm still tired after a couple more weeks of doing this job, I may have to cut back on my filming schedule a little bit, but I'll keep y'all up to date on that. So without further ado, into my little mini haul. I did do one last haul. I had a gift card still from Half Price Books, as I'd mentioned before. My husband got me two $25 gift cards from Half Price Books because he's the best, and he also got me those coupons that were $5 off of $25 when you spend and get a $25 gift card from Half Price Books for January. So I've been able to take advantage of that gift card and the coupon. So I did buy a few more books, and most of them are actually in series that I was already reading, so they don't even really break the rules that I've established for myself. First one is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I have heard really good things about this book. And a long time ago, I read a sample for it on my Kindle, and I thought it was really cute. So this is supposed to be kind of quick, cute, fun, and really adorable. So I'm excited for this. Then I also purchased Changes in the Dresden Files because I am reading Turncoat right now. I did notice that they had the cheaper ones. They had a few of these behind the ones in the front. So I was able to grab one for a little bit cheaper for a hardback, but it does have like some weird, I don't know if you can see this. Has some like weird discoloration and like speckling on the pages, but it's fine. I also got Side Jobs, which is the like series of short stories that go between Changes and Ghost Story, and I got Ghost Story. So yeah, that was my little mini book haul from Half Price Books. So yeah. All right, everybody. So today I was working on covering a book for my mom. I'm actually recovering a paperback of The Princess Bride for her. So here you see me just making the tape a little bit less sticky. I will link the tutorial that I'm following and the YouTuber whose channel it was in the little description of the video. But yeah, so I am attaching the front and back cover to the spine, which is already attached to the book paper, which I ironed together previously. I've already measured everything, of course, at this point, and like I said, made the book paper. So yeah, I'm taping it together so that I'll have the book sized correctly and it won't wiggle around as I tape it or as I glue it together. Yeah, so here you see that I have actually placed the text block in between the cardboard covers, and I am going to go ahead and glue the book paper down onto the cardboard to create the cover. I guess I could mention that the book paper is actually a fusible fabric interfacing that has a consistency about like paper. I don't remember which one it was, the heavy duty or not. I just found the one that felt the most like paper or looked like it. And then the other part of the book paper is actually just cotton fabric, and then I ironed them together and cut them out to the right shape. So here you see me using my gross paintbrush that I've used many times for tacky glue, so all the bristles are stuck together and I don't have to waste any more paintbrushes, so I just go ahead and use that, and I'm spreading out all of the tacky glue so that I can paste down the cover of the book. Here I am actually using this little crease creator for paper to go ahead and smooth down all of the glue and make sure that the book paper is properly adhered to the cardboard. Here I am actually using a stack of books as a book press because I don't really want to make or buy one. These are heavy enough together that they're going to hold that down. And yeah, I'm checking to make sure that there's not any glue dripping down. But yeah, and then I'm going to go ahead and let that sit for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So that was actually a 30-minute time skip that you just saw. And yeah, about to do the same thing to the other side. Yep, so here I have attached the other side, and again, I'm going to go ahead and let it sit for 30 minutes before I come back to do the next step. So the next step is going to be to cut the corners off and then to attach the book paper around all of these sides so that it looks like a regular book cover. Hey everybody! This is my teeny tiny bookshelf up in my office. I finally got my office set up for work because I work from home, and so all of my stuff from my craft desk and everything that needed to be somewhere up here was all over the floor, but the floor is clear now. But yeah, this is my physical TBR, so all of the books that I own but haven't read. I'll just tell you about them really fast. The first one that I've got is Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. I heard about this book from the Library of Alexandria, and Alan there. So watching his channel really brought this to my attention. And then Murphy read it recently and really loved it, so I want to pick that up soon. Move these candles. This is my vampire steak. It's kind of fun. Anyway, then I've got Poison Study, which I did try to recover, but I followed, none of the instructions, so it did not come out super well, and I also wasn't trying very hard. I was just trying to find out if the method would work at all. I've got Mistborn Secret History by Brandon Sanderson. I've got Mortal Sins by Eileen Wilkes, the 5th book in the World of the Lupi series. I've got The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. I've got Cloud Roads by Martha Wells, because since I liked her Murderbot Diary so much, I decided to try her fantasy series. I've got Taliesin by Stephen R. Lawhead. I've always liked a good King Arthur retelling, and I haven't read any in a very, very long time, so I'll eventually give this a try. I've got the 3rd book in the Temeraire series, Black Powder War by Naomi Novik. I've got Hounded by Heaven Kern. I've got The Gutter Prayer by Gareth Hanrahan. I learned about this book from Petrick's channel. I've got The Red Knight by Miles Cameron. I found this in a Half Price Books, and I saw that it was Orbit, and I've really liked a lot of the things from Orbit, so I picked it up. I have The Folding Knife by KJ Parker. I also heard about that from the Library of Alexandria. And then same thing with The Dagger and the Coin series. So I've got the first one, The Dragon's Path by Daniel Abraham. Then I've heard a lot about this on BookTube just in general, and then I found it for cheap at Half Price Books, but I've got the Broken Earth trilogy here by N.K. Jemisin. I've got The Queens of Innislayer by Tessa Gratton that I heard about from Elliot Brooks, and then I also heard about The Mask of Mirrors from Elliot Brooks, and then a bunch of other people that I watch have been talking about it recently as well. I've got 4 classic Jane Austen novels. I believe this has Emma, Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Persuasion in it. I think it was Murphy whose channel convinced me to get that one. And then same thing with it being Murphy who influenced me to get them for A Man Called Ove and On the Fence. Then I've got The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I have listened to the Anthropocene Reviewed podcast and like Dear Hank and John and some of those other things for a long time. Less recently, I haven't really been listening to any podcasts at all, to be honest. So, but I do plan to read it at some point. And then my mom last Christmas got me a few of the Unplugged book boxes. It was hard to say. So I have Luminous, Into the Blood Red Woods, and A Curse in Ash that I plan to read at some point. I also have Ace of Shades and The Witch's Heart. So yeah, these are all the books that I have in my physical TBR, with the exception of one that I'm actually reading, I guess. Well, then 2. So I've got Turncoat, which I'm reading right now, and then I also have Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which I've been reading for like a few months. I'm not proud of it, but I got sidetracked and I put it down, even though I was halfway through. I had been reading a few chapters every day. I was really loving the writing style, but it's also a little hard to get through just because it feels like reading a history textbook a little bit instead of fun and fast-paced like a lot of fantasy, but I was still liking it a lot. I had put down Oathbringer for a while, and then I decided to pick Oathbringer back up, and I didn't want to be reading 2 giant books, and so I finished Oathbringer, but then I started picking up a bunch of other books, and so Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell is just sort of sitting on my bedside table, but hopefully eventually I'll finish it, because now I told you guys about it, so I have to.